I'm going to debunk today some of the concepts, the mindsets that people are stuck in, that I myself am stuck in, and I realize I'm stuck in something. This is the most difficult thing to do, is if you're a fish swimming in an aquarium, do you know you're swimming in an aquarium? It's literally like that. It's very difficult to step outside oneself because we are swimming in this soup of mental imagery that keeps us separate from understanding what we are. It is a continuous struggle. It is how we use the real world to identify when we're blocked. I believe this is how it works. We actually experience something in the real world, and it identifies. If we're clever, if we're decent people, we're going to ask ourselves, is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? This is what I'm going to come towards. And we are in such an epic moment in the history of all life on this planet, because we have, as many people in this alternate media, a few people in this alternate media have pointed out, that Fukushima is blasting its toxic radiation into the environment every day, and there is no concerted effort on a global scale in terms of people who are running the joint, who don't give a shit about fixing this thing. It goes on every day, and I'm going to explain my understanding, the way I approach, with the inspiration of my Venus of Willendorf, how I approach this, how I am able to get up in the morning and conduct myself in a way that I would say, yeah, I'm reasonably normal. My brain cells are fried on this one. I'll have to tell you, the fact that there is absolutely no global initiative to actually remedy and fix this hemorrhaging plant that's destroying all life on this planet, and I'm going to tell you why. Why, when I wake up and I think about this, I make a painting, and I'm working on a couple of paintings. In the background, there are a couple of plants. I'll put them into this video, and I'll show you my plant that I'm working on. Plant? Oh, what other plant is there on this planet that we don't like? Well, Fukushima is hemorrhaging. It's a plant that's hemorrhaging into the environment every day, every second. It is absolutely brutal. And I want to clarify a couple of things, because I am very motivated in my own self as a painter. I think about this, what it is that is creating this monumental problem for all of life on this planet. And what it is, it's a very simple, for me, it feels like a very simple realization, but obviously it has to come through experiences where each individual recognizes in themselves that something isn't quite right. And what isn't quite right for most individuals is, oh, Ebola, not quite right. Oh, ISIS, not quite right. Oh, the Taliban. Oh, all those incredible topics of monumental preoccupation that is being spread on the news sites, on the internet, all this blah, blah, blah. And the reason people get away with this subterfuge and misinformation about everything is, here's what I think. It is because people have made the decision to lose their conscience along the way for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it even sounds like a good reason. You're really having a hard time to keep up your mortgage payments, so you're going to take a little baksheesh under the table, or you're going to be not too concerned about somebody being in a shitter because of something that you do, because you got to survive, you got to make a buck, you got to do what you got to do, right? It's just business anyway. So if somebody is hurt by something you do, well, you have to do it because you got to stay alive, you got to do what you got to do, all these different reasons. But ultimately it comes down to a very simple fact. You're either going to do the right thing or you're going to fuck up. And it's not a matter of having a dissertation, what is or what isn't the right thing to do. The right thing to do is something that you feel, because when you're doing the wrong thing, you know you're doing the wrong thing. Unless, of course, you're a sociopath or a psychopath, like the people running the joint, because they keep doing the wrong thing all the time. They will not do the right thing. They're going to do the wrong thing because they have infiltrated their brain cells with all the explanations and all the infrastructure of doing the wrong thing. Conscience is the only thing that's going to get our ass out of this sling. And it has to be done, and this is how I think it works. It has to be done individually. Everybody can contribute to this revolution of invoking, of reestablishing, doing the right thing through conscience. This is what I've been saying. And we can rant all the time about how bad things are, and Fukushima is blasting its toxic radiation, the greatest pollution ever, to completely saturate everything on this planet. And people listen, oh yeah, da 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 da, on and on. And why doesn't it work? Because individually we have capitulated to the infrastructure, the culture of death that has qualified, that have created academic papers and art and religions and everything over the last 6,000 years to divert us from this very simple principle, which is to do the right thing. And all you people coming back to me and saying, oh, well, doing the right thing, you know, some person might think this is the right thing or this is the right thing, whereas you don't think. No, it's not complicated. Because when you get right down to it, there is only, all right, look, wait, I will create a standard of doing the right thing. The standard which is beyond intellectualizations. It's beyond any kind of infrastructure of subterfuge. When you are in a circumstance, in an experience, and in some way it either hurts, destroys, maims, creates hardship, pain, agony, it's the wrong thing. You don't have to go in your mind how this is perfectly all right because blah, 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 blah. The other part of it is as we begin to meddle. Oh, meddle. Do you notice how everybody loves to get involved in everybody else's situation? Whether it's the church or governments, institutions. The more people are on this planet, the more meddling is going on, the more people are not doing the right thing and abandoning conscience because it's being accepted. It's acceptable to do the wrong thing now. It's acceptable because everybody does it. As soon as you hurt someone in any manner or any life, you're not doing the right thing. It's the wrong thing. Let your conscience guide you. And I think it comes down to a very simple day-to-day event for each one of us to literally, in our relationships, in our actions every day, to try and do the right thing. And we'll contribute, each one of us, to actually overcoming what it is we're facing. Because we are not, at this point, individually, every day, working on this. We need to work on this. Yes, we have to accomplish this feat, this enormous feat, to destroy the dragon that is actually dragging us into his lair, into his hole, into the dungeons. We need to, every day, this is my conclusion, this is how I work, that individually, moment by moment, I attempt all the time to do the right thing. And sometimes I fail, and I'll know when I failed, and I try to fix it, and I do what's right. And I think this is what each person right now, living right now, needs to do. And this ties in with my idea of blood in the soul. And blood in the soul is a concept where we are in such a monumental situation of toxification that it's literally eradicating what I consider to be part of, which is this soul. That's what I think. And any doubt about this, people, there have been, I've in my, listened to my Blood and the Soul dissertation on the wine press, scriptures. I'm not big on religion and the Bible and stuff. I see the Bible in a completely different context. It's a textbook. It's a textbook. It's a formula. And it's not fairy tales and stories. That's just a subterfuge created by religions to create, to have like fairy tales for little infants. No, these are in Kabbalistic terms, they're equations that are being created. And by the way, what is considered Hebrew scriptures is actually 326,000 glyphs that have no separation between them. Nobody knows where a word begins, a word ends. And these are numbers, these are equations. So how do you decipher that? That's a monumental task. That's why they sit there all the time in front of that wall, you know, knocking their head against the bricks, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So anyway, that's what I think it comes down to. It's to do the right thing. We're gonna be able, I still have hope we can deal with this as long as people on a day-to-day basis begin to do the right thing in their own life. Let the conscience just filter through everything. Let conscience be the guide to our actions every day. And I think it's not a matter of lining up and, yes, we need to protest the Fukushima thing, but we need to do it primarily get started again on this program, We gotta get with the program. That's what I'm talking about. And I'll put my plants in the background of this dissertation.